Hello, it's Danielle Burnock from DanielleBurnock.com. Love yourself from Survive to Thrive, that lady on the internet who loves you. And I have a question for you. I want to know how you would answer, what is the single most important thing for you to know? Out of all the millions and millions and millions of things that there are to know in this world that we live in, what would you say is the single most important thing for you to know? Well, I believe that the single most important thing for us to know is that we are loved, that you are loved, that you are loved. Like my little display here, you are loved, and I come on here all the time to tell you you are loved. And I want to share just a little thing out of my book, Because You Matter, to illustrate that for you. Just not even a whole section of it. It's a quote and then just one little paragraph from my book, Because You Matter, How to Take Ownership of Your Life So You Can Really Live. It's the section in the chapter Owning Your Value and the subheading of Own Your Belovedness like Jesus did. I remember finding this quote that I want to share with you, and I was just really astounded by it, because this is so important and it is so life-changing. It is profound how life-changing it is. Many times in the Old Testament, God refers to human beings as his beloved. But when God called Jesus his beloved, Jesus did something truly remarkable. He believed him. And he lived every moment of his life fully convinced of his identity. That quote is by Jonathan Martin. And then the next little paragraph is, to be beloved of God is to be cherished, precious, loved deeply, and unconditionally. My life completely changed when I owned this belovedness. Knowing I'm loved by God deeply and unconditionally provided an unshakable sense of security. The knowing I'm talking about is deeper than, I know that. We can understand English and say we accept something as true without truly knowing. It can be superficial. We just agree with our minds, but to truly know, there's deep intimacy the Spirit of grace offers. And I wanted to bring that up specifically today because I had an experience last night. I had a rough day yesterday. I did a broadcast yesterday about how my day had started with the garage door had broken, and then I had other things happening. I had some trauma triggers. I had other difficulties. And then when I went to bed last night, I went to bed on time. I had trouble sleeping, and I don't generally have trouble sleeping. And I woke up after an hour, and I woke up after an hour, and I woke up after an hour again, and I was uneasy, and it just seemed like something was not right in the realm where we cannot see with our eyes. And so I got up out of bed, and I just started walking around the house and praying and praising God and worshiping, and it was a little after midnight, and I was up for about 45 minutes doing that. And what kept coming to me was how I needed to focus on how I was loved, that God loved me. I am beloved of God. Beloved, that's such a precious word. And the first time second time, my daughter-in-law shared a song with me, a number of years ago, called Beloved, and it was a pretty song, but it kind of bounced off of me because I still hadn't internalized knowing I was loved by God. So that kind of bounced off of me. But then when I came to know, there's a minister guy named Joseph Prince, and he always addresses his audience as beloved. Just all the time. Like some people call you precious, or they call you sweetie, or they say, hey folks, or hi friends. And we have our little go-to phrases and terms, and that's just fine. It's part of our personality. But he would say beloved all the time, and it started to sink in after a while as I started to internalize that I am beloved. And how the disciple John, he called himself the disciple whom Jesus loved. And knowing we're loved by God, knowing we're loved by our spouse, knowing we're loved by our family, knowing we're loved by our friends. Every layer of that goes deeper and deeper and deeper and gives us the courage and the boldness to be who we are, because we were created, each and every one of us, with such enormous value and gifts to give to the world, but we hold them when we feel unloved. We hide, we cover, we self-protect. But when we know we're loved, it gives us a courage and a boldness to go out there and just be who we are. And so I wanted to share that with you today. And I wanted to tell you again and again and again, you are loved. I love you. You are beloved of God right there, right now, no matter what is going on in your life. He loves you and I love you. And so I'm Danielle Burnock from DanielleBurnock.com. Love yourself from Survive to Thrive, that lady on the internet who loves you. Own that you are loved. Mwah.